We are doing the Great Gatsby for our movie. This movie starts off in the summer of 1922, when a guy named Nick Carraway moves to New York in the neighborhood of West Egg.
Nick Carraway moves to New York after he receives a job from his cousin's husband, Tom Buchanan.
After Nick Carraway moves into his small house in West Egg, he soon becomes suspicious of his extraordinarily rich neighbor peering through the window at him.
As the Great Gatsby, was known for throwing huge parties every Saturday night. No one knew who he was and why he threw those big parties.
After some time, Nick and Jay Gatsby got very close, but Nick still knew very little about Jay Gatsby.
Previous to the war, Jay was engaged to Nick's cousin Daisy. Nick soon found out that was why Jay got quite close to him.
At this point of the story is when Jay Gatsby and Tom Buchanan started competing for Daisy's love.
Continued until Jay lost his temper in a New York hotel. After this, Daisy stormed out and took the car and left with Jay. During the drive home, Daisy hit and killed a hooker. The killing was later blamed on Jay, which the mistress's husband later shot and killed Jay Gatsby in cold blood. Here's Dan with the economics of the 1920s. Catch!
Thanks, Kyle. In the 1920s, the economy was booming, hence the name the Roaring Twenties. As seen in the movie, money was not an issue. The Great Gatsby had parties every single weekend, and no expenses were limited. My second example is that all the rich lived in extraordinary houses. As for Great Gatsby's house, it was the largest on the block. Back to you, Kyle.
Good throw, Dan. The setting of The Great Gatsby is primarily in New York City and New Jersey. One of the examples I'm going to be looking at is the Ash Valley, where they drove through every time to get to New York. The weather outside is absolutely wonderful. Anyway, the Corona Ash Dumps is what it was called in real life, until it was discontinued sometime in the 20th century.
Good.
As for the places they live, East and West Egg are actual places in New York, Long Island. They'll be shown on the screen right now when I edit in the picture. Hopefully. If not, it's me looking really stupid. Catch, Dan!
Thanks, Kyle. My second topic, I'm going to be talking about bootlegging. In the 1920s, booze was illegal, so this is how a lot of big gangsters got a lot of money. In one of the scenes, it shows them going into one of these hidden bars with a lot of alcohol in it. Catch, Kyle.
Thanks, Dan. Fashion in the 1920s was a complex thing. Women wore close hats and had short hair, along with skimpier dresses than usual. Not what women were used to. They had a boyish figure. Men wore suits or tuxedos, along with straw hats and fedoras. The Great Gatsby got the fashion of the 1920s absolutely perfect.